This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 11th day of September in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. A massive fire in Alboystown and James Street ripped through 4 buildings this afternoon, reducing those buildings to rubble, while damaging several other buildings despite the best efforts of the Guyana Fire Service. The devastating fire, which almost flattened half of a block on James Street between Alboystown Street and Hill Street, erupted just before 3 o'clock this afternoon. A number of families are now homeless tonight. 26-year-old Kellyanne Andrews, who is among those affected, said she's heartbroken, having lost all of her belongings in the fire. She is a mother of 3 and told reporters that she was asleep and woke up to the crackling sounds of the flames. The woman and her 3 young children lived in one of the apartments in the second building that caught fire. However, at the time of the blaze, only one of those children was at home. The other 2 were at school.
Because for now that I wake up in the fire, I wake up in the fire, it's people on the road when calling for me and I run out.
And where were your children? They were at home?
My son went sleeping with me. Me rest children gone to school.
Another victim, a 22-year-old mother of 2, said she left home at around 2 o'clock this afternoon to visit her mother, and shortly after she received a call about her home being on fire.
I got my mother. My cousin called me, tell me you see the fire. I said no. And when I run Facebook, then I see everything. Only there's a week now I run this place. It's not long I come in this place.
And by the time 31-year-old father of 1 Azim Dial arrived on the scene, his home was already reduced to ashes by the blaze. The construction worker said he was at work when he was alerted to the blaze at his home. His young son was at school at the time.
They didn't tell me fully. They said somebody didn't burn in cap around the place. So it started like that.
Another affected resident, identified as Cheryl Lane, lived in one of the buildings with her son. She said she was awakened from an afternoon nap by the heat from the flames, and she hurried out of the building. At the scene of the fire, Divisional Fire Officer Otis Charles said the Guyana Fire Service deployed a total of 6 fire tenders from the Central Fire Station, the Eccles Fire Station, and the Alboystown Fire Station. Charles said by the time the firefighters arrived on the scene, one of the wooden buildings was already consumed by the blaze.
When we arrived, one building was fully engulfed in flames, and another was already starting to catch. So we immediately got into firefighting mode. We are right now trying to salvage the other buildings around, other than the building of origin, where we have branches surround the entire block.
The firefighters sourced water from open sources as well as from a fire hydrant in the area. Ranks from the Guyana Police Force and emergency medical technicians were also dispatched to the scene to render assistance. The Guyana Fire Service has launched an investigation to determine the cause of the fire, as those left homeless try to find comfort at family and friends this evening. More news coming up in a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Quartz presents the Home Events 2025, happening now at Quartz stores nationwide. It's the perfect time to refresh your home. Come explore new arrivals, bestsellers, and deals you can't resist. Discover the widest range of stylish furniture, cutting-edge TVs, audio systems, and appliances that are smart and energy efficient, all backed by the Quartz low price guarantee. Our experts will help you choose what you need for your home. Shop with Quartz Ready Finance and get more. Don't miss the Quartz Home Event 2025. Quartz, bringing value home.
Guyana's agriculture sector is growing stronger than ever. Over the past 4 years, Guyana has made remarkable strides, emerging as the only self-sufficient food-producing country in the world. Revenues earned from the oil and gas sector are being reinvested to improve agriculture, to build better roads, upgrade drainage and irrigation systems, and introducing of modern technology to boost food production. Together, these efforts are creating a stronger, more resilient food system for today and for generations to come.
A depleted APNU will be heading into the next parliament with a mixture of old and new faces to take up the 12 seats that the party won at the September 1 elections. Leader of the PNC Reform and the APNU, Aubrey Norton, has already indicated to the PNC's executive that he will not be among the MPs heading into the new parliament. However, he will remain as the leader of the party's list and is likely to remain as PNC Reform leader until the next party congress. Sources within the party have told News Source that Mr. Norton has already held meetings with a number of senior party leaders and has finalized the APNU's parliamentary list. He's expected to release that list tomorrow. However, News Source understands that well-known businessman Terence Campbell will be among the new faces for the APNU in the new parliament. He is expected to be joined by co-leader of the Working People's Alliance, Dr. David Hines, Mayor of Linden, Sharma Solomon, Prime Ministerial candidate Jaretta Finance, and businessman Saiku Andrews. News Source understands that some of the other names likely to make up the APNU's list are Coretta MacDonald, who is the GTU president, Nima Flubes, Vince Roy Jordan, attorney Dexter Todd, and educator Riaz Rupnarain, along with Ganesh Mahipal and Shera Duncan. Linden Mayor Sharma Solomon will be expected to resign from his mayoral post to take up the parliamentary seat. For the first time, the PNC-led coalition will not be in the position of power or the main opposition in the parliament, having lost thousands of votes at the elections. The recently formed We Invest in Nationhood party will be taking up 16 seats on the opposition side of the National Assembly, making it the main opposition party. The Forward Guyana movement will have just 1 seat, while the PPP will enjoy its majority with 36 seats. PNC Reform leader Aubrey Norton, despite the party's dismal showing at the elections, is convinced that the APNU will re-emerge better and stronger. According to party sources, in compiling the parliamentary list, Norton has been looking to balance the gender, ethnicity, and youth representation for the party. There are also reports that some of the MPs who have previously served in the Assembly are likely to serve for only a period and make way for other candidates to take up their seats. Back in 2020, the APNU and its then coalition partner, the Alliance for Change, won a total of 31 seats. 9 of those seats went to the AFC. However, 5 years later, the AFC, which opted to contest the elections alone, has been left alone with no seat in the parliament. The APNU is also looking at its composition for the various regional councils, where it also won seats. The party did not win a majority on any of the 10 regional councils. President Irfan Ali this afternoon hailed the joint services for their posture before, during, and after the just concluded general and regional elections. Addressing senior officers of the joint services at its post-election security review, the president said the ranks must be honored for ensuring that there were no major disruptions or threats during the elections. He said the work done on election day was just not for election day, but a demonstration to the world that Guyana is mature and a stable democracy. The president said the nation should be grateful for the services rendered by the men and women in uniform to safeguard the country's democracy.
On election day, you stood watch. In the days after, when tensions could have easily have tipped into disorder, you held the line. Calm, silent but decisive in your actions. And this, of course, allow the people's will to be expressed without disruption. For this we thank you. For this we honor you. For this history will remember you.
Noting that the election period could be challenging, the president said Guyana has passed a test over the last few weeks because of the work of the joint services. The joint services prior to the elections had launched Operation Plexus, which was a coordinated security effort to ensure peace is maintained during the country's elections. The president told the officers that the peaceful and orderly conduct of last Monday's elections was not an accident or circumstance, but rather a direct result of planning, vigilance, and discipline.
When our elections are peaceful, when our democracy is secure, our case for sovereignty is strengthened. The stronger our peace, the firmer our borders, the deeper our unity, the higher our defense. Stability at home ensures that our joint services can focus their energy on the twin tasks of security and sovereignty.
President Ali said the joint services move to act as one united force during the elections ought to be commended. Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan, said ranks were able to work well in coordinating their security posture, and he's hoping for future collaborations with the joint services.
That in my 33 years of service, this election would have been one of the best conducted in terms of creating the security environment for national and regional elections to be conducted. And I applaud the service and professionalism of our officers and ranks across the joint services.
Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Staff also noted a recent shooting incident in the Cayuni River on the eve of the elections, reportedly by Venezuelan gangs. He said the attack on the ranks and GCOM officials cannot be seen as an ordinary attack, but rather one that was a direct threat to Guyana's democracy. Now let's tell you that the leader of the Forward Guyana movement, Amanza Walton Desir, has written to the chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, seeking information on the registration and participation of Commonwealth citizens in the just concluded elections in Guyana. The Constitution of Guyana provides for a Commonwealth citizen to be able to vote in Guyana once that citizen of the Commonwealth is registered and has been domiciled and resident in Guyana for a period of 1 year. In her letter to the GCOM chair, Walton Desir wants to know the total number of registered voters who qualified under the category of Commonwealth citizens resident and domiciled in Guyana. She also wants a breakdown of such voters by country of origin, including those from India, Bangladesh, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Barbados, and other Commonwealth member states, and the number of Commonwealth citizens who actually voted disaggregated by country of origin. Additionally, the FGM leader is seeking information on the statutory or regulatory provisions under which Commonwealth citizens were registered and permitted to vote, as well as information on the copies of any internal guidelines, directives, or circulars issued by GCOM to its staff concerning the registration, verification, or voting process for Commonwealth citizens. Walton Desir said the integrity of Guyana's electoral system depends on clarity, transparency, and accountability. She added that Guyanese citizens must be assured that their democratic will is not frustrated or diluted by the participation of foreign nationals, noting that the people of Guyana deserve to know under what authority Commonwealth citizens were registered and how their participation was administered. The Forward Guyana movement said the request is seeking both statistical data and supporting documentation, and she is hoping that the Commission responds to the information request within 2 weeks. Walton Desir has also informed the international observers of her request. The Forward Guyana movement has been allocated 1 seat in the 65-member parliament following the September 1 elections.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Starbrook Market.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one. Or one touch. Even one word. I can start with one step. Or one promise. One thrill. One first time. One deep breath. One leap of faith. One day to remember. Or one night to forget. One moment. So many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life. Just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Judges, magistrates, and judicial research assistants are currently undergoing case management training through PACE Justice, a European Union-funded criminal reform initiative that is being implemented by the United Nations Development Programme in partnership with the Guyana government. The two-day training program, which started today, brings together magistrates and judges from both the High Court and the Court of Appeal, in addition to judicial research officers. It opened this morning at the Carroll Lodge here in Georgetown. It aims to reduce the backlog of criminal cases by strengthening the institutional capacities of prosecutors, the courts, the police, and the prisons through technology and training. Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Roxanne George, said training will be built on the existing framework that is in place.
We have engaged in case management in criminal cases, especially in the High Court, that is the Judiciary of Guyana. And we did so in a more concerted manner after the enactment of the Sexual Offences Act in 2010. That act embeds case management in its framework. And we also embarked on case management during the COVID-19 pandemic. In the pandemic period, we had to be very, very innovative, especially in restarting jury trials. And case management was very critical in this regard.
The acting chancellor also said the judiciary has also included case management provisions in its criminal procedure rules. The acting Chief Justice Navendra Singh has spearheaded the drafting of the rules, and according to the acting chancellor, the draft will be sent to the Rules Committee for consideration. The training, she said, will boost the country's court's capacity.
This training will therefore further enhance our capacity and capability to better address our caseloads, so as to ensure that indeed justice delayed is not justice denied.
UNDP Guyana and Suriname resident representative Katie Thompson said the PACE Justice Regional Program, Training on Restorative Justice, Criminal Mediation, and Children in Conflict with the Law is in line with Sustainable Development Goal 16, which calls for the promotion of peaceful and inclusive societies, access to justice for all, and the building of effective, accountable, and all-inclusive institutions at all levels. Thompson said the intention is to enhance the rule of law and improve the efficiency of the court.
So we're looking at investment through IT and infrastructure and case management systems that really help you build a system that's more efficient and more functional for the clients that you're serving, and also for for the reputation of Guyana as a country that establishes and protects the rule of law. And that efficiency is also matched with a focus on responsiveness, so that you can respond to the justice needs of all of the community that you're serving. And
the program will help the local judiciary to become more accessible through the effective management of their cases. Head of Cooperation for the delegation of the EU in Guyana, Joan Nadal Sastre, said the EU Pace Justice is the EU's flagship project for criminal justice reform in the region. He said the intention is to reduce the backlog of criminal cases through a menu of measures, and the EU is pleased to partner with both UNICEF and the Guyana government through the Ministry of Legal Affairs.
This training on case management speaks directly to one of the greatest challenges faced by the judiciary worldwide, ensuring timely, transparent, and effective handling of cases.
Pace Justice Regional Program is also being rolled out in Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia, along with Trinidad and Tobago. The Georgetown Public Hospital today confirmed that it has called in the police and an active investigation is underway into a video recording that was leaked from the institution with a patient in a vulnerable state. The video recording captured social media personality and local singer Lolita Lola Doll Calendar in the emergency room at the hospital while doctors were tending to her injuries. Calendar was shot multiple times to her body on Saturday night. She remains in recovery. In a statement today, the Georgetown Hospital said it became aware of the video circulating online with the patient in a vulnerable state while receiving emergency treatment at the emergency department at the hospital. The hospital said it has taken the matter seriously and immediate investigations were launched. One suspect, according to the hospital, is expected to face consequences under the country's cybercrime laws. The hospital said through the process, a suspect who is an orthopedic technician was identified. It is important, the hospital said, to note that the individual was not scheduled for duty at the time of the incident. The matter has since been handed over to the police, the hospital said. The Georgetown Hospital also used the opportunity to remind its staff and the public that video recordings and photographs within its facility is prohibited unless an authorization is given. The hospital says any breach of its privacy policy is also a breach of the patient's privacy, professional ethics, and the trust of patients. It said it regrets and has offered an apology to the patient and her family for the incident and has promised stricter measures to be put in place to ensure there is no recurrence. A section of Dennis Street close to Middleton Street here in Georgetown has been closed to all traffic to facilitate emergency assessment and repair works after part of the roadway collapsed under pressure from a cement truck. The road collapse took place yesterday and resulted in the truck being stuck in the hole for more than an hour. Assessment of the damages started on Wednesday afternoon, and in a notice on social media last evening, the Ministry of Public Works announced that the affected section of the roadway will be closed for 2 weeks to facilitate reinstatement works. The ministry is urging pedestrians and motorists to exercise caution and to adhere to all directional signage and use alternative routes when possible. The government has been on a massive road construction drive across the country as it expands the road network while reconstructing old roads. There have been concerns, however, raised about the quality of some of the work being done and the need for more supervision and adherence to road construction standards. The Carter Center Election Observer Mission, which observed Guyana's just concluded elections, is once again proposing strengthening the country's legal framework to tighten the laws that govern campaign financing and other aspects of campaigning. In its preliminary report, the Carter Center welcomed the 2022 amendments to the country's election laws aimed at improving the transparency of the process, in particular changes aimed at improving the voter registration process, as well as improvements to the transparency of the counting and tabulation process. However, it noted that some lingering issues remain. The report also stated that it is unfortunate that the 2022 amendments did not address those long-standing issues, despite repeated recommendations from the Carter Center and other international observers. The Carter Center said legal certainty is a fundamental component of the rule of law and is essential to the integrity of the elections. The mission said the electoral laws must be clear, accessible, stable, and foreseeable for all stakeholders. The Carter Center also highlighted that Guyana's legal framework contains several inconsistencies, with some sections containing contradictory provisions resulting in the Election Commission's inability to implement them, and urged that there be constitutional reform to address those issues.
Live the island dream. It's your chance to be one of over 100 winners in the Island Dream promotion. Win your share of more than $1 million in cash and prizes, plus 2 all-inclusive weekend staycations for 2. And that's not all. Score coolers packed with Buster, Turbo, Altitude and Viva. Just buy any can or bottle of Turbo, Buster, Altitude or Viva. Find the code starting with BB. Then visit at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean on IG or Facebook for details.
The Island Dream, get money. Live the island dream.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says the Trinidadian government is set to deport some 200 Venezuelans now incarcerated in TNT jails. She also said the Coast Guard facilities are being upgraded and vessels are being provided so that they can respond to human and drug trafficking in TNT waters. Persad-Bissessar has also blanked a call from Colombia's President Gustavo Petro for TNT to assist in the search for the remains of 11 alleged Tren de Aragua members killed in a U.S. Navy strike on a vessel off Venezuela last week. She told Trinidad Guardian that the boat, which was destroyed, was not a civilian vessel, adding that illicit drugs are destroying families and have fractured society. She said, and I quote, "I much prefer seeing drug and gun traffickers blown to pieces than seeing hundreds of our citizens murdered each year because of drug-fueled gang violence," end of quote. Petro's concerns on TNT and Persad-Bissessar's response were the latest developments arising from the recent U.S. military deployment of warships and a nuclear-powered submarine to the region in its crackdown on drug cartels in the Southern Caribbean region. TNT is part of the U.S.-led international coalition backing the crackdown on drug cartels. Guyana, Ecuador, Paraguay, and Argentina are also part of the initiative, which is being supported by Belize. Communist Cuba's National Electric Union said power was slowly being restored last evening on the Caribbean island after the grid collapsed at 9:14 a.m. local time. State-run media reported airports and essential services such as hospitals and water pumps were up and running thanks to backup systems. The vast majority of the country's 9.7 million residents, however, remained in the dark. In Havana, home to 2 million residents, authorities said they were working to start major power plants. This was the fourth time in less than a year that the national grid collapsed. In the past, it has taken 2 to 3 days for service to be fully restored. There has been a total disconnection of the electric system, Energy Ministry and National Electric Union said Wednesday. The ministry said the causes are being investigated. And finally tonight, international news. Police and U.S. federal agents said on Thursday they had found the bolt-action rifle they believe was used to kill the influential conservative activist Charlie Kirk during a university appearance in Utah, but they were still hunting the shooter. Kirk, a 31-year-old podcast radio commentator and a close ally of U.S. President Donald Trump, is credited with helping build the Republican Party's support among younger voters. He was killed on Wednesday by a single gunshot in what Utah Governor Spencer Cox called a political assassination. The killing, captured in graphic detail in videos that rapidly spread around the internet, occurred as Kirk spoke on stage at an outdoor event called Prove Me Wrong in front of about 3,000 people at the university, some 40 miles south of Salt Lake City. The killer arrived on campus a few minutes before the event began and could be seen on security camera video ascending stairwells to get onto a nearby roof before firing a single shot, according to the FBI and state officials. He subsequently fled the scene. The investigation is currently ongoing. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.